Welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. We broadcast every Saturday from noon to 1 and talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics, including wellness, health care, elder care, end-of-life care, and caregiver support. Hello, my name is Ken Haglund, and we have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support and create healing response to illness. This is a nonprofit, volunteer-sustained organization that provides programs and therapy services for people with life-threatening and chronic illness. You will not want to leave the radio for this show. This is going to be a great show. We are broadcasting live today, and we are looking forward to answering your questions regarding creative healing. Please feel free to call us at 952-946-6205. Once again, that number is 952-946-6205. Our talented show producer, Sam Turnberg, will be answering the phones today. Thank you, Sam. Or, if you're shy, you can bypass Sam and directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Once again, that texting number is 612-999-3426. You can also find all of our prior broadcasts on the AM 950 website by clicking the On Demand button and then clicking on our show logo, Living Healthy and Aging Well. The purpose of this show is to bring you specialists, experts, and people with a passion for helping others from the health and wellness field to provide insights and recommendations on how to navigate the complexities and challenges of managing both you and your family's health and quality of life. We also focus on our senior population and how we can help you prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential to supporting our elder population. I am so grateful for the opportunity each week to discuss these timely and important topics with you, and I am so thankful for the tremendous response you have provided to us regarding this unique radio show. I also want to thank Chad Larson, the owner of AM 950, and his tremendous team for their support and encouragement. Please continue to send us your questions, comments, and suggestions to our radio show phone number, which is 612-999-3426. I want to mention this radio program is brought to you in part by Minnesota Hospice, an independent, physician-owned medical practice serving local Minnesota communities for over 11 years with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. Their number is 952-898-1022 or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. I also want to mention a friend of the show, John Hoshin, owner of St. Paul Corner Drug, located at 240 Snelling Avenue South in St. Paul. I recently met with John at his pharmacy and learned they have been serving the communities of Highland Park, Macagroveland, Merriman Park, and downtown St. Paul since 1922. In fact, they have operated out of the same building now for almost 100 years. John and his team go the extra mile to ensure all their patients' needs are met. While their primary focus is on their patients' drug therapies, they also address other concerns such as nutrition, daily living aids, financial stresses, access to services, mobility, and other areas of life. John's team understands that all these factors play a role in determining their patients' overall health, condition, and their quality of life. And as a bonus, St. Paul Corner Drug has a fully equipped old-fashioned soda fountain where you can get a wide variety of delicious ice cream treats. Please stop by St. Paul Corner Drug and say hi to John and his friendly team. Their phone number is 651-698-8859 or visit them online at stpaulcornerdrug.com. All right. I would like to introduce my special guest today, Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you, Ken. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
We, as we talked before the show, there's just a tremendous amount of information about some of the changes going on in healthcare and some of the needs that we as a society are struggling with. And I'm so anxious and I've been looking forward to this conversation with you for a long time. And I know we won't get to everything in this short period of time, but I would like to make sure we introduce who you are, who Pathways is, and how you guys have been serving the communities here for 30 years. It's very, very impressive. But before we get into all that, let's talk a bit about you, about your background, and how you eventually became involved with Pathways.
Right. Well, thank you, Ken. I'm a Minneapolis native, born and raised, and went to school out of state, but eventually ended up moving back here. I'm blessed with a wonderful wife and 3 great children, and I'd say career-wise, have worked primarily in the sort of marketing and advertising field in sort of a dual role of media and strategic planning. And that really is predominantly in the Minneapolis and Boston and New York areas. But I would say to the conversation today, many of those years, for me, balance of life was trying to get involved in the community to whatever degree I could. And given lifestyle with young kids, that might have been coaching kids soccer for the local schools. And as time moved on and the kids get a little older, it was dipping my toe into the pool of philanthropy. I was fortunate to serve on a number of boards locally here, including Wilderness Inquiry, the Youth Frontiers. As time went on, served on the Minnesota Council of Foundations, and currently am sitting on the board for the Minnesota Hospice Group. We're very focused on sort of grief and end of life. And am very lucky in my professional life to be now focused as executive director working for Pathways.
Well, let's talk about Pathways. This is just an intriguing organization to me. Can you take us back in time and tell us about how Pathways started and how long it's been involved with the community here in the Twin Cities?
Sure. Well, I'll start with the 2 people responsible, Penny and Mike Winton. This was, so we turned 30 years old last year, so we are actually in our 31st year. But prior to that, Mike had come down with an illness that was considered at the time to be life-threatening, and Penny sort of in a caregiving role, and Mike in his role as the person with the illness, had traveled out to California. Because what they were seeking was definitely primary care and medical treatment. But while they were in California, known for being a fairly progressive in their way of thinking and in terms of health care, they started to explore what else is out there besides traditional medicine. You know, we've been hearing a lot about, should we be eating right? How could that influence your health? We hear about this new thing called yoga. What is that? And could moving our bodies differently influence how we feel? And so while they were in California seeking treatment for Mike, they really started to meet with practitioners of these, what we call modalities or services, and talk to yoga instructors. They talked to nutritionists. They even met with some people, I would say, under the grief umbrella to discuss how am I feeling about the fact that I've got this illness, and how am I, maybe Penny in her role as a caregiver, how is she feeling about the life that may have been changing for the 2 of them? And long story short, they started to feel like their health was improving, and they weren't assigning that improvement to just primary care or these other things that might have been considered a little off the charts, if you will, at the time. But they decided that they would come back to Minneapolis and open a place of healing that really offered the term complementary therapies had not been coined yet, but really a place of holistic health. But through Mike's lens, it was going to be a place of healing for people that were dying, were living with life-threatening illness. Now, this was 30 years ago when AIDS and cancer were really considered terminal. But as time goes along, life-threatening and with medical advances sort of softened a little because medical could treat what today AIDS is not considered terminal. Not all cancers are terminal. And so our mission, if you were to step back, is really to focus on two different populations. One is life-threatening, but also, I say the largest one and growing is severe chronic issues. So.
All right, we are up against the clock here, Tim. Let's continue that conversation here after the break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. This is a nonprofit volunteer organization that provides programs for people with life-threatening and chronic illness. Please stay with us.
I'm Nick Slavic, proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. I've been a craftsman for 25 years. You'll not find someone who loves their job more than me. The process of painting your home could not be easier. Go to nickslavic.com, click on the button Paint My Walls or Paint My Cabinets. I'll personally be in contact with you to get an estimate, either in-home or a free virtual estimate. We move furniture, vacuum, sweep, dust, and put your home back the way we found it. We're not like other contractors.
Marjorie Prime, running April 19th to May 19th, is produced through a partnership of Prime Productions and Park Square Theater. Marjorie Prime explores family dynamics, aging, and memories assisted by artificial intelligence. Join me, Lori Fitz, host of Connections Radio Show, for a post-show talkback on April 28th's matinee show. Joined by Professor Maria Ginny, we'll explore what's in store in the future with our relationships to robotics and artificial intelligence. Get your tickets to the show by going to parksquaretheater.org.
Do yourself a favor and check out the amazing cuisine of eatlocalminnesota.com. More than just a website, eatlocalminnesota.com provides you with the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities. Enjoy made-from-scratch cooking at the family-owned Milton's, specializing in dishes like award-winning ribs and plank salmon grilled up on their charcoal grill. Satisfy any sweet tooth with incredible desserts like Bananas Foster. Milton's menu also includes gluten-free options and a large selection of local craft beers. Reservations accepted for groups of 5 or more. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking cuisine, the Great Wall Chinese restaurant has been a local favorite since 1981. They offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and Peking duck. The Great Wall restaurant is located off 45th and France, with takeout available too. More at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Hi, this is Paul Metza, inviting you to listen to a great new episode on the Wall of Power Radio Hour this weekend. Sally Mann Romano has written a great book called The Band's With Me. Talks about her time with Janis Joplin, Frank Zappa, The Grateful Dead, Grace Slick, Stephen Stills, The Band, and more. She's a heck of a storyteller. You're going to love her story and stories. This Saturday at 6 p.m., Sunday at 4 p.m. on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, it's Tom Hartman. You know, Continental Diamond is special for a lot of reasons. The owners are Jimmy and Helene Pessis, a husband and wife team who had a dream to open their own store more than 30 years ago. They've built a business that is the gold standard. The readers of Minnesota Bride magazine have named Continental Diamond the best jeweler for the last 7 years. Why? Amazing, friendly, no-pressure customer service, a selection of fine diamonds and design jewelry unlike anywhere else, and the fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies are pretty great, too. Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park and at continentaldiamond.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglund, and joining me today in studio is Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. Now, this is a nonprofit, volunteer-sustained organization that provides programs and therapies for people with life-threatening and chronic illness. So we've got a lot to talk about here in the next three segments. But before we get back into our conversation about how this organization started, Tim, would you let our audience know how they can reach you and your organization if they have more information or want more information or have more questions?
Absolutely. I would just say one of two ways. Our phone is 612-822-9061. Our front desk is open Monday through Friday, 9 until 7, and on Saturday, 9 until about 2. Or you can visit our website, which is www.pathwaysminneapolis.org, and that website will give you plenty of information, including contacts. We have a staff of about 3 or 4 of us that are always available to answer any questions you may have.
And I want to encourage people to check out your website, and you'll find out more about why I'm saying that later in the show here, with all of the programs and services that his organization offers to people. But let's continue, Tim, to build on the vision. The reason why this organization got started, and the vision it had, and let's talk a little bit about where that vision started 30 years ago, and what may have changed since then, and what's stayed the same.
Sure.
But I really want to give people a background here, because I think, and I've heard this, you guys are one of the best kept secrets in the Twin Cities. Really.
We hear that often. Yes, we do.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted so badly to get you on my show, because people need to know about this amazing work that your organization is doing. So let's get back to you were talking about Mike and Penny Winton and how they had a vision that was really driven partly by a situation, a health situation that Mike encountered.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it was through Mike's journey, but also Penny at the time was very involved in the AIDS awareness area and was actively volunteering. And so the two of them combined really brought a richness of resources to be able to open such an organization. They started in a very small house on 34th and Hennepin Avenue South in Uptown, and soon grew beyond that house and ended up building our current center, which is at 31st and Hennepin Avenue South. And it was really designed by their son, as a matter of fact, designed the building with healing in mind. His craft is sort of to help hospitals feel less clinicky. So what you feel, and we hear this often, is when you enter the building, there's just this sort of immediate sense of calm, helps really quiet the mind, if you will. But I think back to your question about the vision. I should mention up front, and we'll get into the services later, but all of the services, whether one-on-one or groups, are offered at no cost. So they're free to any participant who walks in the door. And I think their thought behind that thinking was, if we can offer these services to people that are in a really severe health crisis, whatever that may be, how nice that it sort of strips away that veil of angst that people might be feeling with an already charged scenario around their health. You know, they've got to worry about medical hardships. And so by offering free services, the reaction between participant and provider, it's an interesting dynamic, because when the participant realizes that provider is there to really donate their time, that connection it sort of blossoms, if you will. So it's an amazing connection.
Yeah. Well, I know that one of the concerns that I talk to doctors very frequently, and they just want more accountability, want more engagement with their patients. They feel like if they had more of that, rather than someone coming in through a drive-through mentality, give me something, and I keep going on about my life with the same lifestyle, the same thinking, the same habits, something's going to change.
Yep.
And it doesn't. And I think we've found, because our practice is built with a lot of volunteers, we couldn't do what we do without the volunteer program. So in many ways, our practice and your practice is parallel. But I tell you, the power of a volunteer, someone who is committing their time, I think the intention of that is just so powerful. And I think that the people we work with and our patients really appreciate that. Yeah. And I'm sure with you, and we can talk more about this, but I think that patient-provider relationship that's built on your structure and how you've done it is just amazing, and it is very powerful.
I think people often say, so what makes you unique? And we can get into that as well, but I'd say up front, it's the fact that we are volunteer-supported, not just other organizations have volunteers, but I would say it's really the breadth and the depth and the quality of the volunteers. We currently have about 120 volunteers that provide their own skill sets. These are practitioners who work out in the community, some full-time, some have their own practices. We really sort of draw from a wide spectrum of that industry, if you will. And we ask them to come in sort of as present and as ready when they want to. We don't pigeonhole them into, we need you to come in Monday afternoons or Friday mornings. We ask them what's a good time for you, because first of all, they're volunteering their time. And we don't know what life presents for them outside our four walls, so we want them sort of at their ready when they come in. And the fact that we have 120 of them, that makes us very unique in the community, I think, is because across that 120, you're going to find just a depth of experience, licensure, certification. We're adamant about that, I think, in a volunteer capacity. I won't say it's easy to overlook, but oftentimes big hearts is usually what walks in the door first. But we're really concerned about making sure that those big hearts come in the door with years of experience, licensure, certification, but also what I call sort of the intuitive part of what I start with personally is the intuitive interview, because I want to make sure that when that door closes between participant and provider, that there's a connection that's likely to be made. And not all of us are blessed with the ability to just be immediately caring and concerned, leading with the ability to listen. And I think every one of our providers starts with that incredible skill of listening.
We're going to talk more about that. I have some questions about that, and I'm anxious to do that in the next segment here. But it's time for a short break. Sam has got the music going. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing process and response to illness. Please stay with us.
Hi, this is Charlie. Dad, do I have to say this next line?
How much can you get for a used Xbox?
Fine. My father is the voice of his generation, Matt McNeil.
Fantastic.
My dad loves me driving the Toyota Sienna, and the Sienna is incredibly reliable. While my dad drives the new one, mine is over 10 years old and still runs great.
A vehicle with amazing reliability, an incredible service department, and the Luther Advantage card, you get that with Rudy Luther Toyota. We're a 2 Sienna family thanks to Rudy Luther, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hello, humans. This is me, Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio on Monday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. This week's show is about systemic racism and historical trauma that have touched many in St. Paul. We'll be talking about the Rondo neighborhood's destruction due to I-94. I'll have a group of idealistic teens who've created a powerful documentary on the subject. Very informative. Tune in, please. Ellie 2.0 Radio, engaging and real on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Get $50 for your trade-in regardless of condition when you buy new appliances from Warner Stellian. Minnesota's appliance specialists beat the competition once again with guaranteed sale prices, trusted fast free local delivery, and now for a limited time, $50 for every appliance you replace with a qualifying model. Replace your tired, inefficient appliances and get $50 trade-in rebates. The more you replace, the more you save. For a very limited time, exclusively from Minnesota's own original appliance specialists, Warner Stellian.
Native Roots Radio is proud to announce we've added an extra hour.
Yeah, Chushke, 1 hour goes by too fast.
That's right, Uncle Curtis.
I'll have extra time to share important information about our secret animals.
And report national and native news from all over the country and Canada.
This new hour is sponsored by Robbins Kaplan LLP, dedicated to redefining excellence for high-stakes litigation representation in Indian country.
We are awake.
Are you thinking about buying or selling a house, or just want to know what might be going on with one of your biggest investments? Then why not become a house geek? Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall.
And I'm Chad Vandelat with Bricks Real Estate and the host of the House Geeks Real Estate Show, here with your Market Minute.
5.83 is the average number of showings per week per listing in the median sale price range in the Twin Cities. This is seasonally expected and is a key early indicator of current demand in the marketplace. The median sale price is up over last year, 6.5%, and the 30-year conventional interest rate is at around 4.17%, up slightly over last week.
Conclusion: the market is at its seasonal peak activity and will most likely start to ease back up within 6 to 8 weeks. For buyers, peak activity also means the most new listings are hitting the market. For sellers, now is the time if you still want to be part of the spring market rush. Thinking about making a move? Check us out online anytime at housegeeks.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Sam Turnberg. Today we got a chance of rain with a high near 45. Tonight is mostly cloudy with a low around 32. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high near 49. Monday, mostly cloudy with a high near 53. And Tuesday, partly sunny with a high near 53. The Eat Local Minnesota Restaurant of the Week is Nightingale. They offer something for everyone's taste buds, from seafood to unbelievable vegetarian options. Come visit them at 2551 Lindale Avenue South in Minneapolis. More details at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglund, and joining me today in studio is Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. Tim, let's give our audience your information one more time here about how they can contact you and your organization.
Sure. Anytime during the week, they can call 612-822-9061, or our website is www.pathwaysminneapolis.org.
Fantastic. And I would encourage people to look at their website, pathwaysminneapolis.org. I have it up right now on our computer here in the studio, and it is rich with information and the programming and the services that we're going to start talking about in this segment here. But I do want to get a couple of more thoughts in about how your organization is structured. It relies a lot on volunteers, and volunteers as practitioners, providers, therapists that come in and do this great work. And I want you to just mention a little briefly here about just the uniqueness that provides to this healing center that you have.
Yes, we have, as we talked a little bit about earlier, it's kind of the breadth and the depth of these providers. Honestly, they hear about us, I would say, and a little bit about word of mouth. I try to get out into the community quite a bit to speak in the medical system, in various community settings, and word of mouth really helps drive that, because if I can get one good, highly qualified provider, then their cohorts will know and their cohorts will know, and so then we end up building awareness in the provider community. The providers are unique for us in that they want to give in some way. And so for them, giving at no cost is a huge part of what, and I'll be transparent with you. I'm part of my responsibility is keeping the lights on at Pathways.
Right.
And over the years, our board occasionally will sort of drift into various creative ways to do that. And one that we've discussed rarely, but early on, was what if we charged maybe on a sliding scale based on what you could afford? And to show the unique character and build a characteristic of our providers, I shared this with some of our providers who said, if you start charging, I may find somewhere else to volunteer. And that sent just an incredible message to me, and I think to our board and to the entire community. It just left such an imprint on my heart of who these people are and what they're willing to do for us.
We at our practice have a lot of volunteers, and we are so fortunate. And these people are really the lifeblood. When people come in and do the great work they do on a volunteer basis, that is such a powerful incentive for our team of professionals to see these people coming in with their intention and their desire and their commitment to help. So and they are ambassadors to the community here. So I echo that. That's a great feature of how Mike and Penny have kind of built this organization up. One thing I wanted to mention is Pathways now is 31 years old. How is it the same as it was 30 years ago, and what things have you changed? You mentioned some creative ideas that have been proposed over the course. Maybe compare and contrast. Maybe what's consistent, and maybe what has changed.
Sure. I think what has changed, I think, just is the balance of those we serve. If 30 years ago, really primarily the audience was those coming in the door were those people living with life-threatening illness, so terminal situations. As medical advances proceed, terminal becomes a little bit differently defined, and so our audience sort of expanded into terminal, but also really severe chronic illness. And that could the secondary severe chronic could be people that were living with terminal, but maybe it's sort of in a stage where we're not sure. I would say there's a sort of a third bucket, if you will. We had some research done about 6-7 years ago that really quantified, for those that needed to see it, the before Pathways and after Pathways. What is it that we do well? What is it the outcomes that are realized? And it really, this was the University of Arizona who helped us with this project, and the bottom line was that they said Pathways is instrumental in affecting favorable shifts in quality of life. And what that means is quality of life is really what it means to you, what it means to me. It might be two totally different things, but that vision, I would say, that has been consistent, whether it was for terminal illness, severe chronic. But the third bucket, I would say you could come into Pathways. I would say any of your listeners could come into Pathways. The terminal and the severe chronic aspect, it is who we serve. It is our primary focus. But if you have a question about what is holistic health, how can it benefit me, we don't turn people away. That third category, you may end up taking more group classes than one-on-one, but the research bore out an uptick in emotional health. And my goal then says, well, if I can introduce emotional health and wellness to you before the crisis hits, you're going to be more resilient, more prepared, if you will, to face that crisis when it does hit. So I would say that is a little bit of a shift in what it was 30 years ago. But in the dearth of healthcare providers, in the high escalating costs of healthcare, it's important that we offer ourselves as a resource to everybody then.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I think I've talked to several people, and this awareness, this mindfulness, this approach that you guys have taken is the ultimate preventative healthcare approach, because you're really getting people in touch with who they are and how they can take care of themselves better.
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure we start talking about some of these amazing programs. I'm looking at your May and June newsletter, which is about 12 pages long, and it's got I think, about 80 different programs that you currently have offered during May and June. This rivals a college curriculum. This is just really amazing, Tim. Would you mind just talking about some of the you have different categories that you have in here and different programs? Could you just give us an overview of what that looks like?
Happy to. I will just start with sort of a categorical approach. The calendar is sort of broken into different sections. One would be sort of the art, music, creativity. That captures anything from art-based programming, music-based programming, writing as healing, and so on. And I think I encourage, we have orientations every week for new participants. And in those orientations, I try to tell the people that are interested in becoming participants to try things that they're familiar with, but also try things that they're maybe less familiar, maybe not comfortable with, just to see how it may or may not play with. I will tell you, when I pick up a colored marker, I start to sweat because I'm a really good stick figure drawer, and that's about it. But what I've seen and experienced personally, but what I've seen with our participants is that art can really uncover some answers to questions that people may not have known about. A different section, we do have your classic and traditional bodywork. So we're fortunate to have a relationship with a couple of organizations in town where we've got some really highly qualified massage therapists coming in. Under that category, I would include energy work, which is more about sort of helping to sort of calm the mind, open your heart to possibilities around energy work that may not be the traditional massage therapy. Meditation, imagery, I can't tell you, under the umbrella of mind, body, spirit healing, if the ultimate goal is really to calm the mind, learn how to be more present, just present in the moment. I call it monkey brain. I put myself in the front of that line. Some days I have to use it on myself. But it's incredibly powerful and healing to just stop, take a 30-second pause, and for some people living with really terrible illnesses and tough life situations, being able to just stop and pause, that's really the first thing. That is a first step, if you will, to healing. But the guided imagery and inner practice, our providers are very good in what they do in terms of offering the services, but B, we hope that the goal is really to provide tools to our participants so that they can practice these themselves when they leave. We have a category, movement and guided practice, and that's really, when I say movement, if you have a body that doesn't move, providers are able to read the room, read the group, and we have yoga, but we also have seated yoga. Tai Chi, Qigong, those all can be sort of adapted to the group and presence. So you shouldn't be hesitant to try different things because the provider is very accommodating. There's a category called transformation through change, grief, and loss. It's a fairly broad one, but I would say the undertone there is that grief can come in all sorts of forms. People might be grieving the fact that they know their life is going to end. They may be grieving because this illness that they have has changed their body, their life, their lifestyle, and they've lost what they had. They're not going to pass away, but they're different. Caregivers are coming in. I should have said this up front, but we give equal scheduling priority to caregivers of those living with the illness as well as those receiving the care. So caregivers may be experiencing grief as well. I was in a relationship with my significant other, and now my only identity is that of a caregiver, and we are there. Pathways is there really to provide as much attention and care to them as well as the ones receiving the care. So those areas are really the focal areas. I can tell you briefly about a program we have called Renewing Life. Yes. That is a program that was started at the University of Madison Medical Center about 25 years ago. The author, if you will, she had breast cancer and had created a program through her own lens that she wanted to help her patients experience the ability to sort of shift perspective to waking up every day with an illness or a tough life situation, shift that focus to what do I have in my life? What is the upside to my life? And this program is instrumental in helping you shift that perspective. We have purchased that curriculum. She retired several years ago. We've really improved it to adjust to and focus on our participants. And maybe on the next segment, I can talk a little bit about what we're doing with that program, not just at Pathways, but out in the community.
That'll be great, Tim. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. Please stay with us.
Art lovers, it's time to celebrate, learn about, and collect local art at the St. Paul Art Crawl, running April 26th to 28th. The Spring St. Paul Art Crawl, presented by the St. Paul Art Collective, is a must-do experience that you will love. Over the weekend, you will have the chance to explore a wide variety of art while touring through local artist studios, lofts, and galleries. Up for purchase will be paintings, photography, pottery, sculpture, fiber arts, and more. The Art Crawl sprawls over 34 locations. Join the Art Crawl and discover outstanding art for your own. And when you buy local art, you're providing to artists so that they may continue to create the art we love. The Metro Transit is supporting the local art community too, with free transit passes. Download your pass to ride buses and light rail for free during the Art Crawl. Be sure to get details at stpaulartcrawl.org. That's stpaulartcrawl.org.
Tom Hartman here telling you that solar energy isn't just for environmentalists. Switching to all-energy solar is actually perfect for reducing your carbon footprint while also saving money on your monthly electric bill. The fact that solar panels cause no earth-harming emissions while it's producing energy is a bonus. Who in the world could object to that? But they can also help you save money month after month for decades. And they do it with a clean footprint. So go green and start saving money today by visiting allenergysolar.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is having their annual service special. Every stove, insert, and fireplace needs maintenance. Get it done now and save $40. You'll be ready to fire up before the cold weather hits again. From 94, take the Riverside Avenue exit and go east to 2901 Franklin Avenue. See the Twin Cities' most diverse selection of clean-burning, reliable, and environmentally smart stoves and fireplaces.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak, owner of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Have you ever watched your dog or cat curl up in front of a fire? Like a Norman Rockwell painting brought to life, it's primordial the way fire touches both the animal and the human. We have the equipment and the know-how to supply, install, and maintain stoves and fireplaces. Call us at 612-338-6606 and take advantage of our spring cleaning and maintenance special. We are online at woodlandstoves.com. The mission and the passion of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is to make the fire work for you.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
It's Greek to Me is hosting a family-style Greek Easter feast celebration on Orthodox Easter Sunday, April 28th. They'll be serving a traditional Easter feast, including lamb and chicken with all the fixings. Make your reservations now. It's Greek to Me is located on the corner of Lake and Lyndale at 626 West Lake Street, Minneapolis, or it's GreekToMeMN.com. Now you can find It's Greek to Me by Athena at Target Field when you watch the Twins.
All right, let's jump back in here quickly. Welcome back. You are listening to the Living Healthy and Aging Well radio show where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglund, and joining me today in studio is Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways. This is an amazing healing center located in Minneapolis that provides programs and therapies designed to support a creative healing response to illness. This has been a great show. Be sure and download this podcast. We could have several of these shows here, Tim. We're just scratching the surface of what your organization does. But let's let our audience know how they can get in touch with you and your organization.
Sure. You can reach us at 612-822-9061, or our website is www.pathwaysminneapolis.org. And we hope to hear from you.
Yeah, I would encourage people. I'm looking at here the May and June. It's almost like a catalog of all the programming and courses and services you guys offer, which is also on the website pathwaysminneapolis.org. So go on there. There's about 80 different programs that you can take. Depending upon where you are in your healing journey, but these are all hosted by licensed practitioners, providers, just amazing organization. And the amazing thing is, it doesn't cost you anything.
Correct.
Now, in saying that, I just want to let people know that Tim runs this nonprofit organization, and this is something that your donations go to absolutely make meaningful differences in people's lives.
Yes, it
so
does.
I want to make sure that, Tim, you have a chance to put a plug in though for this amazing service you're providing to Minneapolis.
Sure. Yeah, we are just quickly. Our support comes really through the generosity of many donors. Whether we have a couple of foundations, but primarily we are donor supported, which if you look over 30 years. That is somewhat unique as well in terms of we're fairly small, but we work hard for every dollar that walks in the door.
Well, the longevity is a testament to what work you are doing. But the fact that all of your practitioners and therapists are volunteering their time, I just am still so amazed by that. I mean, the participants that you call them, the people that are receiving these services and these therapies are getting passionate people with just amazing intention trying to provide help.
Yes,
I mean, what a great thing that you're doing there. So, again, I just want to encourage people, if you're interested in donating, supporting, participating, or even volunteering.
Yes, we have non-provider volunteer efforts. We have front desk volunteers who are wonderful. We have people come and help our little garden, if you will, and so there's numerous ways that you can help volunteer if you're not a provider.
Yes, please look at the website Pathways Health or Pathways Minneapolis, pathwaysminneapolis.org. Or again, we'll give out Tim's phone number here at the end of the show. But in the last couple of minutes we have here, Tim, can you give us a vision for the next 5 years? What do you see as the leader of this organization, where you see Pathways going?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first, I hope to continue what we're doing today. I think we're always looking sort of ahead of the curve to see what is relevant, what is the new crisis, sort of as it falls under our mission. But if you always do the same thing, you might always get the same results, and some organizations go out of business that way. So we're always trying to look ahead to see what is relevant. We don't want to be unique just to be unique. We really want it to be relevant to the next participant walking in the door. So it's really community-based health assessment, and how can we help touch that? If I were to look 5 years down the road, we get periodic calls from outstate, whether it be inner city or outstate groups saying, boy, what would it look like if you could build a Pathways in our city? Well, the answer to that is it may not be a Pathways, but we are always ready to help come out and work with organizations to see how we might replicate our model in different cities across the United States, but really starting locally. We've had some discussions with some outstate organizations that are sort of underway at varying levels. But our goal then is to see if it's really about impacting the community, how can we help those local cities and communities create their own organizations.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got just a couple minutes left. I wanted to maybe circle back here on the renewing life, and that's you don't necessarily need to be in a life-threatening condition or situation to be a part of that.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct. As you walk in the door, the first question you won't be asked is what's wrong with you. The first question you will be asked is how can we help you? And really, we are a resource provider. I always say that we don't lead you to something. We sort of work alongside you. I think our premise, our overall vision is that people have an innate capacity to heal. It's just sometimes when you're living with a severe crisis, health crisis, it gets buried under these layers. So exposure to these various programs really helps to peel back some of those layers so that at some point you're going to have your own aha moment. And part of that aha is to see how that service works for you, but it's also the realization that you are in control of your health at whatever level. But that will continue. We have orientations every week that you'll see on our website. You can come in and learn more about us. We try to accommodate lifestyle, so some orientations may be during the day, some are at night. But it's just an hour of time, non-committing, so you can just learn a little bit about us. But that's really our goal, is just to provide resources and tools and information.
We've got another 40 seconds here. You've got some really interesting guest speakers and things coming up here in the future. You've got Ted Bauman, who's going to be with you guys June 13th. He's a fantastic speaker. I've heard him several times.
Yeah, we are so fortunate. People like Ted, part of our strength and sustainability has been really bolstered by professionals in the community who come and support us, including Ingrid Dilley, who brought Renewing Life to us, and some of the research-based the outcomes that I mentioned earlier, the University of Arizona helped us with. We have a program, loosely I call Pathways to You, so that if organizations in the community are interested in having us come to their specific organizations, we're happy to talk about how we might customize some of our program to meet the needs.
Fantastic. Well, let's give the audience one more shot at your phone number and your website.
Yep. Our phone is 612-822-9061. Our website, www.pathwaysminneapolis.org.
All right, we're at the end of the show here. I want to thank Tim Thorpe, Executive Director of Pathways, a healing center located here in Minneapolis that provides programs designed to support a creative healing response to illness. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation, or let us know of topics you would like us to discuss on future shows. You can reach us by phone or text at 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday at noon for another live broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. Until next time, live well.